Here's a really good buy. No, it's not the two cocks that are, it's roached. Welcome back to another video, guys. As you can tell last time, we had problems with this. There's oil in the coolant, coolant oil, vice versa. They are the same system now. Now, a couple other things happened. I went to start this the other day, and the fuse box lit on fire.
You want some therapy?
We're gonna figure that out later. The truck doesn't run. I had to roll it into the shop here, but today we're going to fix the oil in the coolant issue. I'm going to pull the whole front core support out of this thing. A couple other things, get to the oil cooler. We're gonna replace that. Fingers crossed, that was the problem. So, yeah, let's get into it.
What's your first move?
I punched myself in the face. This thing's getting carried away really quickly. Plus, I'm gonna have to work with you on your fucking piece of shit. I'm trying to get the bumper off so I can get the intercooler out. Yeah, that's the update. I think this fucking socket on there. I don't even know why I'm undoing these. Because I have a sneaking suspicion that underneath here is no good. I think we can fix it. I know that I said I was gonna leave it looking shitty for a while, but like I'm heavily contemplating just ordering fenders right now. The other side is worse. Look at that. It's like, I think it was a really good buy. It's wild. Don't even have to undo the bolts on the fender to get it off. We're going to pressure wash the whole front of the engine. I'm gonna pull the inner fenders out so we can get all the side of the engine on both sides. Make it all clean before I get in there and start doing the oil cooler. So we gotta take the whole thing that attaches the oil filter to the block off, and then it's behind there.
Oh wow, that's a big job.
Probably didn't have to rip into it this much to do it. I've never done one, and I know for a fact that I had to get all the oil out of the coolant, so I was like, I have to pull the radiator anyways, and while I had the rat out, I was like, you know what, I might as well pull the intercooler out, and while I had that out, I pulled the AC condenser out, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna wash all of this off, and you know, while I'm there washing it off, I decided to pull the inner fenders off too. To check out the fenders, and you know, while I was there, I decided I should probably get some new fenders. So. Alright guys, so we have the truck back on the hoist. I just finished pressure washing everything under the hood, get it all clean so I can get in there and get the oil cooler out, because obviously we have oil in our coolant. So I'm gonna get this thing up and then I'm gonna dump the oil out of the engine. Hopefully there isn't too much coolant in it. I'm hoping there isn't any coolant in it at all, but you know, it's probably in there. So I'm gonna drain that and then I'll pull the oil filter off, get the oil cooler assembly out of there, put the new one in, gasket, put it back together, put oil in it, then we should be good to go. I've never used this thing and it's been in this shop for like 3 years now. It's probably gonna leak everywhere. Okay, let's go. Holy fuck, somebody fucking red Loctited this thing, I swear to God.
Dude, your pan is like flexing.
I know. Oh man, this thing's gonna get even worse. Okay, I have a piece for this that I bought. You know those like the little ball valve?
Yeah, yeah.
I got one of those for this because I'm just like, don't want to have to go through that again. Let's see how much water comes out. Actually, yeah, it's not water. That's really good. That's really good. I had low hopes for this thing because at every turn that it could have an issue, it does. Like, I didn't start it for 2 weeks and I turned the key and it lit on fire. I think it was a really good buy. He wants to put up a fight, but that's a good sign. Watch how there's gonna be like virtually no oil in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's slowing down for some reason. I don't like that. But whatever, let's hope. Moral of the story is if like the person you're buying the vehicle from doesn't really know much about anything, it's probably a bad sign. He's probably watching this right now. We have to replace this seal at the back of the T case, which I already have, so we'll do that when we go to do the transmission tomorrow. Pretty good deal, right? The nice thing is like, the rockers and everything are really good on this truck. So I'm happy about that, because like, if there, oh, there's a hole here. Looks like the running board got ripped off of it. Ew. Yeah, here's that hole.
Jesus Christ.
Other than that, you know, it all looks pretty dang good. Yeah. It looks like the rear engine seal is probably out of it too, but it'll be easily accessible. It's already gonna be there. I should probably get the rear engine seal. Yeah, have that for tomorrow. Axle seal is probably completely fucked. Ball joint's probably completely fucked. I'm gonna guarantee that this 4-link is completely fucked. In all honesty, we're gonna have to do everything on this truck. Yeah. I need it to drive in like a month. Because I have to shut my nice truck down because I let it get to a decrepit state. 4-year-old truck, dude, and it rides like a 40-year-old truck. So bad. Okay, being we can't ever leave anything alone, we have to change everything, make it all aftermarket. We put in one of these cool little oil drain valves, easy oil drain valve. Basically, it's just flip this guy. I'm not gonna flip it because there's oil behind it now, but that easy. There's no spinning, there's no fighting a plug like I just did to get it off of here. Really easy, really clean, no mess. Okay. So, truck's back down, oil's out of it, drain valve installed. The next thing that we're doing is, obviously, we're getting distracted. Just like Anders is on his truck, he gets distracted, does something totally unrelated. That's what we're gonna do right now. I'm in here, I gotta remove a bunch of this stuff so I have room to work. And of course, I see the grid heater, solenoid, and wiring. We're not gonna need that. We're getting rid of it. So while we're here, we're just gonna take this thing right off, pull all the wiring out, chuck it. This thing is going to be high horsepower. I'm not starting it in the cold. I'm purely starting this thing just to beat the brakes off of it. So yeah, we're going to get rid of this thing right now, and then we're going to spin the oil filter off and start working at that oil cooler. Why would we ever just go right to the source of our problem and fix it when we could do all these other side quests? It's just so much fun. We are pulling the oil cooler off now, and I'm smashing my fingers. C lines are in the way of my gun. Like, it's just the perfect length to be in the way. I was staring at it, and I'm like, I think we need to do the turbo now. Because we're here, and I would hate to put everything back in here just to take it out again and do the turbo. So, yeah, it feels pretty solid. It just looks kind of crusty. But if we're gonna upgrade to make 1,000 horse, then, you know, we might as well either do an oversized down here and do like an over-under compound, or get an S400 frame right up here in a 2nd gen configuration. I'm not really sure yet. This is all kind of up in the air depending on what we can make for power, because as it stands right now, if we're gonna stay exclusively using BD parts, we're projected anywhere from like 800 to 850 horse just on fuel. So if we hit it with nitrous, maybe we hit 4 digits, but I think that's cheating. I honestly think nitrous is cheating. Everyone that uses nitrous is a pussy. Who cares what I think? I'm just an idiot with a fucking inline because I don't know how to work on anything else. I love getting back to my roots and work.
I'm going back to my roots. You know.
I had to order a new AC condenser because as I was taking this one out, the bolt just like broke off in the AC condenser. Okay. The oil cooler is off. It's good art. It's an oil cooler. She got warm. I wonder when that happened. Oh, dude. So now that we got the oil cooler out, we have our fancy Amazon oil cooler. And is there anything you guys notice about this? No, it's not the two cocks that are on it. It's that right there. Made in China. Gross. So the cheapest oil cooler on Amazon is from Georgia. State of Georgia. Fancy American part.
Yeah, so this is how I talk when I do truck stuff. People say that I don't sound like a truck guy, but this is how a real truck guy sounds.
You're going in backwards, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. What the fuck?
Hey, look at how you have that gasket.
I know, I have fucking Do I know what I'm doing? Absolutely not. Man. Okay, yeah. Just like put fucking silicone and like pushed against the block and just like let it adhere. Man, we're struggling out here, you know? Times are tough. Okay, typical case of while we're here. We had the front of the engine disassembled, core support, everything off, and I noticed that the water pump, the factory one, was leaking out of the weep hole. It was a little bit wet underneath, and I was like, you know what? While we're here, we might as well go spend the $100 and whatever on this thing and get it in there so we can avoid doing that. I don't know if this thing is gonna like fail on me in the first couple hours of driving with that water pump, because this thing is like 400, almost 500,000 kilometers on it. So, you know, while we're here, might as well just put a water pump in, preventative maintenance. Super simple, 2 10 mils, clean the surface. It couldn't be any easier to do a water pump. Like, any of you Dodge guys get it. I feel sorry for Duramax guys like you. On my other Duramax, pain in the asshole, takes hours and hours. You can literally change one of these in probably 20 minutes. It's that easy. So, we're just gonna put this thing in here now. Just my love. Oh, that's upside down.
It's that easy, so.
Make sure you put it the right way, because there is a proper way. Jersey, you gotta get yourself a Cummins. This is so easy. This is simple for simple guys like you.
Whoa, that was so quick. Boosted dicks, teach me your ways.
Hey, pull the trigger. Honestly, I was looking at this and I was thinking, I was like, while we're here, I should probably pull this pulley off, take this whole front cover off, and powder coat all of it.
That's a massive filter on that cooler.
Yeah, dude. Big boy. I'm looking at this, I'm like, I'm putting this all together right now, when in all reality, I could just be taking it apart more and then send a big batch to powder coat. But I'm gonna put it together, I'm gonna make sure it runs, I'm gonna run it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna pull it back in, then blow it all apart again. And
several bad puns later.
Alright guys, so I have the whole front of the engine back together, oil cooler's in, new water pump is in, new serpentine belt is in as well. Now that that is finished, I'm moving over to the fuse box portion, or as the Dodge guys call it, a TIPM, a totally integrated power module, I think is what it stands for. So when I got into this truck 2 weeks ago, I turned the key to fire it up because I hadn't run it for a while. As soon as I turned the key, nothing started, everything flashed in the cab, and I noticed under the hood we had smoke coming out. And as soon as I saw that, I disconnected all the power to it. Even with power connected to it and the truck off, it was trying to light itself on fire. This is the culprit. Actually, I'll show you this plug right here. Right there. Melting that one main plug. So obviously, we have a problem in there. So, I automatically went into the Tip'em and said, Tip'em's probably screwed. I was going to put this other plug on and pin it out and plug it back in, but ultimately that would probably burn up that plug as well, because if you look into here, there is green rot happening on the pins to the circuit board. So I'm going to say that this is probably not safe to use. This should probably get sent away and get rebuilt. Luckily, we have another truck here that's the same year and same trim package as this one. So I'm going to go see if the Tip'em from that truck is good. Generally, year to year, your Tip'em changes. So this is a 2010 truck. It has to have a 2010 Tip'em. Can't have a 2011. Won't work. And on the side of the Tip'em, you have all your numbers. And I think it's this 04692-131AG. That's this model Tip'em. I have to go make sure the other one has the same model number on it, and there is still a chance that if I plug that Tip'em in here and everything works, the truck won't start. It'll probably run for, I think, 5 to 10 seconds, then shut off, and I'll have to load it on the trailer, take it to the dealership, and get it flashed. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen with this one. So now I'm going to do the painstaking task of pulling all the pinned wires out of this plug and repinning this new plug that I got here. Wish me luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Few moments later.
So I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I decided to dig into this Tip'em fuse box to see if it was savable, if it was just something I had to clean. And I got my answer pretty quickly. It's roached. I have another one here in another truck, but ultimately I will have to replace it out of that truck. I can jack the fuse box out of it to make this truck run for the time being. This one, I'm going to box it up probably and send it down to California to Max and get them to repair it if they can. Fingers crossed they can. But yeah, that's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper than finding and buying a new fuse box for this thing. So
Tomorrow.
What's the update?
well, against my better judgment, I'm using butt connectors. Because I went to the Dodge dealership, I went to the Bumper to Bumper, I went to every parts store, looked online, and everywhere I looked, they told me, yeah, we can't get these. Go fuck yourself. So, luckily, the plug that I ordered from Max has all the wires cut off in them. The pins are all good. So the burnt up ones, I'm literally butt connector, double shrink tube, and put them back together, and then I'm going to go pull the fuse box out of the other Dodge that I have here of the same year, and hope to God that it works. This will have to do for now. I just need it to run. That's it. Like, that's all I'm asking. Gods of automotives, please help me make this truck run. That's all I ask. I need this thing to run. Yeah, so that's what we're working on right now, and my brain's cooked. Recent development. Fuse box back together. Took me a couple hours. I managed to pin out the plugs on the bottom. Pain in the ass. And I found some other green rot. Addressed that. Got everything making a good connection in there. And just about an hour ago, we had some progress. It runs. Check this out. It also shoots ATF out the box. Anyway, we have a mess, but it's progress. The truck runs again. So I guess now it's time to jack this thing up in the air. We're going to clean this mess up and start putting in the transmission. I'm so excited. Yeah, it smells pretty burnt, right?
Not as bad as that fuse box smelled yesterday.
Yeah, that was gross.
That smelled really bad.
But yeah, it runs. I'm super excited.
You're a wizard, yay!